Good morning. Welcome. Welcome once again. Welcome once again to whatever it is I do. My brain fog is just amazing. And I love how it plays out in reality. And what I've learned is that never lose your sense of humor. Because when we lose our sense of humor, we're done. And it's important right now as we begin our day today, 9/9/22, really some amazing numbers. And it brings us a gift of many things. As I arose this morning, I thought about what was the topic going to be. And that's my usual pattern. And what came to me was the word sanctuary. Sanctuary. And there's an old song. I'm not going to remember the name of the band. The Doors, I think. The Doors sang it. Um, and it was, "Can You Give Me Sanctuary?" And I started remembering that. And I remember back then, I really don't really know if I understood what that word was all about. I thought he was just high on drugs and just rambling on as they would back then. And it brought back a lot of memories, was to look and say, where was I then? And where are we here now? So I got up and thought about sanctuary, and I looked the word up. And then I started to think about and ask my guides, okay, so what is this message that um, is to go out to the world today? And the world is really in an amazing state of beingness. Good morning, Anita. And yeah, blessings to all souls who show up here and join with us. And so this was the word, it was sanctuary. And we have this full moon, and we have the Queen of England rising into her higher self. And I'm thinking about all of this, and I'm thinking about my brain fog that so I have a person working with me with it, and how all of this is happening simultaneously. And I couldn't imagine, you couldn't dream this. You couldn't plan this. That it had to be something that was connected at a higher level. And what is that higher level other than source? Call it God, call it what you will. But there's a plan, there's a pattern. And if we look at the history of humanity, there's always been a pattern. It's not always been a pleasant one. And the one we're in right now is not a pleasant one. It's one where we have much confusion, greed, uh, a loss of ability to provide for ourselves, a fear of viruses, a fear of um, financial situations, a fear of um, people taking away our rights to live or not live, etc. So it's really a strange time. And then we have this moon, which is a harvest moon, basically. And it's about harvesting and being thankful for the harvest and preparing for the winter and saying, oh, we look at what we've achieved, what we've accomplished over the summer, over the, you know, in the Northern Hemisphere, uh, what we've gained and how we need to put that away so that we can survive the winter. So it's a change in weather, it's a change in thinking patterns, it's a change in behavior, and it's a change in leadership. So I did want to bring up the Queen of the British Empire, Queen Elizabeth. And the reason I wanted to bring that up because when I look at the history of the Queen, I can honestly look at her as a very strong person, and I'm not going to judge her. But I look at her ability to um, be who she was, irregardless of what other people thought of her. That she lived in many ways a life of um, service and integrity. I can't say that I agree with everything she said or did or what the whole uh, monarchy was about. To me, it's an old pattern of living, but it was a part of our history. And we have to look at what did she, you know, who was she in her own beingness? She was true to herself. She didn't take a lot of crap from anybody, and she stood in a world of people who are very aggressive around her. So I have to admire her and release her in in prayer. And may she look down on us and see all of the mistakes and maybe perhaps help us to redirect what the future is for humanity. Because I believe that she has that capacity in her heart. I know a lot of people will disagree with me, and that's okay. We'll disagree about a lot of things, but that's how I'm looking at her. And that's when it came to the word sanctuary. And the word sanctuary is where do we go and what do we do when the world around us is collapsing, it's changing, the old paradigm is leaving, new groups of people are coming into place in leadership, and there's going to be a lot of changes. And this moon in is actually a water moon with Pisces, and it's going to create a lot of disturbance in the waters. And I'm talking about the waters within us. So, good morning, Victoria, Danielle, Margaret, nice to see you here. Divya, bless you, Patricia. We're all in this together. Whether we live in the United States, whether we live in Europe, whether we live in Australia, China, Russia, doesn't matter where we live. Each one of us are seeking a place of safety. We are seeking a place of stability. We don't have that now. Our world is being distracted and distorted in many different ways. And I look at this moon as an opportunity, a new beginning for all of us to find that sanctuary. And if we can't find that sanctuary, we need to create it. And that sanctuary isn't out there. The sanctuary is in our hearts. We have to create a sanctuary within our hearts. And what does that mean? What does that represent? What do we do with that once we create it? These are the questions that arise to my human mind. My higher self already knows the answers to this, but they're not going to manifest until I actually put my feet in front of the other, and my mind in alignment, and look forward and say, okay, I'm traveling now down this new road. The world has changed around me. And at first, it looks very hostile. And right now, for many of us, it's very unstable. We've reached a point of insecurity. And now we have this pillar of society, of the old society of kings and queens and um, self sovereign beings, to has now left the planet. And the children and the heirs of that history are not of the same uh, capacity. They have different thoughts, they have different intentions, they have different, even though the rules were always there. It's sort of like the Old Testament and the New Testament. There was an old way of being and a new way of being. And this is sort of where we are um, globally in a political and social way. Sanctuary. That's the word, sanctuary. Where do we create that sanctuary? And is that sanctuary open to everyone? Not just me and my friends, not just me. We have to create a sanctuary within our hearts. Because if we create it out there, it'll work, but it won't serve our highest and greatest intention for humanity. Humanity isn't out there. Civilization is out there. Humans created this, the story of civilization. It's a story that they've written, and they've written it in order to favor a few and rule over others. And that's the story of civilization. Many benefits for many people, but also many and many ways of hardship have been put upon more people than the wealth and the um, ease and grace that they live in. So, how do we bring that back into balance? We don't do it out there, you do it in here. It's an inside job. And that's what the guides keep telling me. This is all an inside job. If we don't do it within ourselves first, in our own hearts, then anything we do outside of that energy field, of this toroidal field of our heart and our beingness, becomes momentary. It has no ability to sustain itself out there. It's we who sustain by offering love and peace and light to others. It's that energy that we hold in our hearts and broadcast into the field around us that maintains a society that is peaceful, harmonious, and productive to benefit all. Sure, some will have more than others, but we don't negate those who do not have. Instead, we allow the water to flow to them. We don't shut off their water. We don't shut off their food supply. I'll take a break. None of this was in my show notes, but I knew that once I started talking, it was just going to all come through. So the word sanctuary means a safe place. Where is a safe place for you in this world? Do you have a safe place? Is your home a safe place? Is your work environment a safe place? When you go to the grocery store, is that a safe place? Is your community a safe place? I want you to think about that. Where is your safe place? Where can you find sanctuary in the outer world? Some people go to church or go to their sacred belief systems, buildings and communities. Some go to the nature, to the woods, to the water, to the mountains, and that becomes their sanctuary. If you look at both of those, one is man-made and one is nature-made, but they represent the same thing. They represent a place of peace, a place of sincerity, a place where you know what is going to happen. Good things and bad things can happen, but for the most part, it's always good things. And if you stay awake and alert in either of those places, you feel whole, complete. You end up having compassion. You end up having feelings of lightheartedness. There's nothing demanding of you in that space. It's just saying, come, be. Think of what is in the best frame for you. You see, those were the places that all of us had before we started playing with rules and regulations. And we've created a mess because now we have rules and regulations for our leaders that they're contesting and saying we're not going to obey them. We're above and beyond our rules and regulations. The Queen was not one of those. She abided by the rules and regulations. And they weren't about her. They were, in her mind, what was best for everyone as a leader. Take a look at your leaders today. Where are they leading you? Where are they leading you when they can spend tens of millions of dollars to be elected, to be in control of you? And I say this to awaken everybody, because each one of you have a say in all of this. Where is your sanctuary? Then, where will you feel safe? So let's just, in this moment, my prelude is over. Let's just take a breath. Feel the breath come into your body, and it comes down into your lungs. Your lungs surround your heart. Your heart draws what it needs. Your body releases what it doesn't need, and you exhale it. And you breathe again. Simple, isn't it? Because in your heart, It's not judging what you're breathing. It's not thinking about kings and queens. Your heart is not thinking about leaders. Your heart is not thinking about laws and regulations. Your heart is really a sanctuary. It's a sacred place within you. A sacred place within you that you can remember how to come back into. To come back into and rest, not struggle. Come back into and watch where the energy of your heart is going. And make a sovereign decision. Put your brain back into its true purpose of directing where your heart energy is going, to whom, why, and what for. You are the master of that energy. You are the sovereign being in charge of that energy. When we allow others to control it, we have given away our power. We no longer have a sanctuary in which to rest and regroup and see what needs to be done around us that will benefit all life. This full moon I look at as a turning point in humanity. I'm not an astrologist. I love to read it and I love to hear what others say about it. I don't try to figure it out. But I know that the power of the planets, and I know the power of the universe, and I know the power of the rhythm and the geometry, if you will, and the energy that that creates. And I know timelines, and I know dimensions, because I've experienced all of that. It's not because I'm any better than anybody else, it's just that that was my journey. And I look at this as bringing it back home to right now. Where do we bring it to? Where do we land all of that? Right here, right in the heart. The brain is busy. It's the world around us is Many of you have irregular heartbeats. That's your heart going. It's not supposed to do that. But it's the world around us that creates that, because we've lost the ability to come back into our hearts and take a look and saying, how do I react to this situation with my heart open? What's happened is over thousands of years, we've closed our hearts down, 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 down. Made up stories about love, made up stories about what this is and what that is. Illusions, we've created illusions. And we've made people believe those illusions were real. And the truth is, there are three energies in this world: peace, light, and love. Outside of that, there are distortions of that triad, if you will, of energies: peace, light, and love. So I came back to offer. That was what I witnessed when I died. And that was not to be forgotten, no matter what happened to me, including this crazy brain fog, including whatever aches and pains that I have, whether I sleep or I don't sleep. Within my heart and within your heart, there is peace, light, and love. I want you to feel that. Just softly feel your heart center. Not your heart physicality, but the center, your heart chakra, the energy vortex of your heart. Feel it. You know it's beating. You know it's radiating energy. Say thank you. Say, I love you. You are the most faithful thing in my life. I haven't thought about you as my living source, my loving source. I've betrayed you. I've hurt you. And yet you're still there, connecting me to everything in the universe, everything I believe, connecting me to a conscious mind that can imagine and create. How powerful are you? And when I step inside and rest in you, when I allow myself to do it, how gentle and wonderful and loving and kind is that feeling? This is today. And as we go through this full moon, I want you to think about, where are you who are now thinking about your sanctuary within? Who and what are you going to do in the future? The future is ours. It's only ours to prepare it for the coming generations. And we have the ability within us, in spite of nuclear weapons, in spite of disease, in spite of criminal activities and the leaders of our world, they represent about that much. How many billion of us are there? Did you forget? Come together. First, come together in your heart. Create that sanctuary, that place where you can go and you know that you're safe. You know that you understand who you are. That place where you can forgive yourself for the errors in your lifetime or for the craziness in your lifetime, for those who abused you, for those who, create troubles in your life. Learn how to say no to them, to not allow them into that space. Know that this is your space. This is your heaven within you, if you will. This is the place where you will speak to the angels, to the gods, to the fairies, to the elementals, to all of life. It's not from here. This is only the vehicle for this. The vehicle to express this. This is who we are. So as we come through this full moon, I want you to be near water and to appreciate the water, offer prayers and gifts to the water. I want you to do the same thing with the moon. You have light and you have water. Where would we be? Where would we be physically without light or water? This is a time where each of us have an opportunity to redirect our lives in ways that we never thought we could do. It's a critical transition point. I'm going to read my show notes now. It's a critical transition point in the collective evolution of Mother Earth and all her children. Now, this comes from my guides. My notes mostly come from my guides. I learn them as I write them. I learn them as I say them to you. We're all in this together. I'm not any greater than you are. I just have an open channel of connection. Each of us is to imagine and create a sanctuary within that rebalances our hearts and the human brain. We are not the brain, we are the heart. No heart, brain don't work. Not unless you plug it into some electronic thing and keep it running without a heart. Right here. Let's become the heart again. So create that sanctuary, or at least think about creating it. And know that it's through that sanctuary that we're going to make it through all of the changes that are going to happen in this immediate future. And it's going to help us prepare the future generations for them to step into that changed world and to be productive, not fearful. And right now, if we were to measure fear, it would be probably the highest it's been since, maybe thousands of years ago, when the Romans were running through Europe. This is what we've done, is we've repeated history on a more global level. And that history was really destructive, not beneficial. I'm going to stop lecturing you. I love you. I'm so glad that you show up and listen. I hope what I have to say plants some seeds in each of your hearts. The moon is always there and allows us to see into the future. The moon is more than we think it is. And it helps us co-create. Helps us co-create a desire to be whole again. If all we do is just absorb the light and reflect the light like the moon does, we will have offered something to others that can't be put into words. It's the energy of peace, of light, and love. Over the next few days, as you look at the moon and you watch her rise and you watch her set, think of her as your grandmother. And think of the three words: peace, light, and love. Because when we begin to create that sanctuary within our hearts, we rebuild the original human neural network of peace, light, and love. And we return back into balance, leaving distortion out there. I love you. I thank you. I respect you. I am you. May each of you find that place in your heart, no matter how small, no matter how tiny a little place that you can find that's peaceful in your heart. Please find it and go there and love you. Embrace you. And remember that you are what we're waiting for. That's it. Thank you, guides, for another beautiful day. Thank you for you beautiful people. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That so makes my heart sing. And I hope that your song is just as beautiful as mine. We'll see you next Friday, if not before then, somewhere on the internet or wherever we meet. And again, through this full moon, offer your prayers for the beloved Queen who has left us and left a legacy that will be written about for years to come. And know that each one of us have that legacy within us. When we can find that sanctuary within ourselves to truly see how wonderful and amazing and powerful and how much integrity we really have. And we live it. Love you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will respond to your text with hearts and love and comments. And you can find me, on Facebook, and you can find me at my blog, and you can find me all kinds of places. I tell people, if you want to know who this crazy guy is, just Google Charlie Riverman. He's out there. Have a great week. Enjoy life and be nice. Be nice to yourself. Find that sanctuary within your heart.